Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Coming up tonight on Our News, Bahamas Petroleum Company abandons oil drilling in the Bahamas. We'll tell you why. The Central and South Abaco MP says he won't be seeking re-election, plus why the Bahamas chose the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine for the country. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, Bahamas Petroleum Company has come up short in its quest for oil in the Bahamas. The company announcing early today that its exploratory well in Bahamian waters failed to produce oil in any commercial quantity. Jasmine Brown reports.
Reaction to BPC's announcement that they would be abandoning their exploratory oil well was met with elation from Darville, who says Mother Nature answered their prayers.
It was something that we did not awaken to realize this morning, that we had been helped significantly by Mother Earth herself.
Darville could not hold back his happiness as he spoke to our news team via Zoom and from the shoreline of a beach in Grand Bahama.
I cannot even express how happy I am this morning, and that's why I came out here, next to the ocean, to show you the pristine, if you could see it out there, the pristine beauty and the purity of Mother Earth's ocean.
Darville was reacting to BPC's announcement that its exploratory well in Grand Bahama waters failed to produce oil in any commercial quantity. In a statement, BPC said drilling has ceased and the well will be permanently plugged and abandoned. The conclusion of the exploratory drilling comes nearly 2 months after the Perseverance No. 1 well was spud. BPC CEO Simon Potter said in the statement, "I am proud to say that after many years of diligent effort, we did what we said we would do. BPC drilled the Perseverance No. 1 well safely and without incident. This was the very specific objective of the well, not a scientific or geological experiment, but to seek hydrocarbons in commercial quantities." Perseverance No. 1 is located 90 miles west of Andros. BPC was targeting oil resources of 0.77 billion barrels with an upside of 1.44 billion barrels. BPC said over the coming weeks, it will be undertaking a detailed review of the technical data and results from the drilling of the Perseverance No. 1 well. These results will be presented to the government of the Bahamas in accordance with the company's license obligations, according to the statement. Darville said at this point they do not have any intentions of abandoning their legal plans.
We want to make sure we get at the bottom of all of these particular procedures that were initiated to bring about the eventual, even the exercise of exploration in our waters. It was something that the Bahamian people as a whole were not cognizant of, and particularly the over 15 environmental strong bodies of people whose only objective is to preserve our land and sea.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, after serving just one term as the MP for Central and South Abaco, James Albury has announced he will not be seeking re-election. He tells our Kyle Joaquin that while public life has been more than he'd ever expected, he's shifting his focus.
I'm enthusiastic about the future, and we have several, more than several, I think, very enthusiastic candidates to take my place.
At the age of 27, James Albury is wrapping up his first and only term as a member of Parliament. The Central and South Abaco MP says he's made the decision to now focus on starting a family of his own and reconnecting with other family members.
I would have met with the Prime Minister early this year to sit down and speak with him, to inform him that I was not seeking a nomination to run again in this seat. And I explained my reasons to him, and he was very accepting and accommodating of that. So there was no pressure from the party whatsoever.
As for his time in public life, Albury said it definitely has had its highs and lows, bringing a lot of responsibility and going from being very stressful to sometimes very rewarding.
There's a lot of things that you think will be one way and they're a different way, and of course there's a tremendous amount of responsibility that's put on your shoulders, and it can be, it's a stressful job to have. It's been rewarding, personally rewarding. I've really enjoyed serving nationally. and on behalf of my community. It's something that I always wanted to do, but I was never sure when I'd get the chance to do it.
He said undoubtedly his biggest challenge came in 2019 when Hurricane Dorian struck, turning the lives of many of his constituents, family, and friends upside down.
There's no crying when you're an MP for yourself. You have to fight for your people and cry on their behalf. So without a doubt, it's been very difficult. It's been very, very difficult, but it's something that we're still dealing with and still moving forward with as a community.
Albury ran in 2017, fresh out of college with a degree in political science. He said he's learned a lot since then, taking the good and the bad from his short career in frontline politics. But as for the most important lesson he's learned,
never lose sight of what your objective is, because there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people who will try and tear you down, both personally and professionally.
As for any newcomers looking to join the political arena, Albury says get ready for the ride of your life.
And the Bahamas will not have the capacity to store COVID-19 vaccines that require ultra-low temperatures in large numbers. However, special freezers have been ordered and will be delivered soon. That according to Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Delon Brennan, who appeared on Guardian Radio's Morning Blend with Dwight Strawn. Dr. Brennan explained why the Bahamas has chosen to administer the AstraZeneca vaccine.
When we look at some of the other vaccines, you're talking about ultra-low temperature freezer capacity, and that is another level that we just don't have and are not going to have in country in large volume very quickly. Yes, we will be able to get some of those freezers in, and those are on order, expected to be delivered very soon.
The AstraZeneca vaccine is approved for emergency use in the United Kingdom and is authorized for use in all adults in the European Union. But it has not yet been approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration. While the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, both of which are RNA vaccines, have efficacy rates upwards of 94%, the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is DNA-based, has an efficacy rate of around 70%. However, because the AstraZeneca vaccine does not have to be stored in a freezer, it's easier than the others to transport and store. Dr. Brennan says comparing one vaccine with the other is like comparing apples and oranges.
You need to be able to see how well does it work in practical situations. What endpoint? Are you just looking at people who would convert from positive to negative? Are you looking at how well the vaccine prevents transmission within the community? Are we looking at prevention of hospitalizations and deaths? And when you look a little bit deeper into that type of information, the AstraZeneca vaccine does extremely well at doing just that.
During a press conference last week, National COVID-19 Vaccine Committee Chair Dr. Marceline Dahl-Regis revealed the first 100,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine will arrive in the Bahamas and be administered over a 6-week period covering 3 priority groups. A check on weather is coming up, but first, police are on a scene off Golden Isles Road this evening where a body was discovered unresponsive on a track road. Our news will have more details in a later newscast. And we had quite a morning across most of the Bahamas with heavy fog. Greg Thompson is in the weather studio to tell us a little bit more.
Thanks, Christina. Our first segment of weather is being brought to you by Ports International for all your medical supplies and your equipment needs. Warm day around the islands, temperatures warming up into the mid-80s, 84, 85 is the official high, 74 right now outside our studios with just a few clouds, still on the warm side. The winds are light and variable, temperatures feel still like in the mid-70s. Beautiful conditions around the islands. We did have some really foggy conditions earlier, and those fog banks have burned off since then. Nice conditions setting up. We could see some more fog later on this evening as conditions are ripe for that event once again. That is your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
When our news comes back from the break, a woman charged with 40 counts of fraud-related matters. And a little later, a Rastafarian priest speaks out on marijuana arrests. That's coming up when our news returns.
Every new season of On the Record, we push the limits, venture into unknown territory, take our cameras into places unseen before. We share the stories and experiences that affect us all. And now it's time for Season 5. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on RTV, cable channel 212, and streaming live on Facebook.
A 53-year-old woman today charged with 40 fraud-related matters in relation to Crown land. 53-year-old Hertha Jenkins today charged before Magistrate Subasola Swain on 11 counts of fraud by false pretenses, 11 counts of attempted stealing, 4 counts of uttering a forged document, 4 counts of possession of a forged document, and 10 counts of money laundering. Police say between May 2020 and January 2021, Jenkins falsely obtained $2,800 each from Raquel Dillon, Emily Roll, Richard Dillon, and Taria Cunningham. She allegedly also obtained a total of $40,000 from other individuals, which she attempted to launder. Jenkins was reportedly in possession of a forged Department of Land and Survey's acknowledgement letter in relation to 4 of the matters and attempted to steal a parcel of Crown land valued at $44,000 per acre from the Bahamas government. Dawson Bullard was also charged with 3 counts of possession of a forged document, 3 counts of attempted stealing, 2 counts of fraud by false pretenses, 2 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of uttering a forged document. Police allege that Dawson was in possession of a fraudulent Department of Lands and Surveys acknowledgement letter and also obtained $7,000 from 3 individuals, which he attempted to launder. The pair was charged together on 2 counts each of fraud by false pretenses, attempted stealing, and money laundering. It is alleged that Bullard and Jenkins fraudulently obtained more than $5,000 from 2 individuals, which they attempted to launder. Jenkins and Dawson pleaded not guilty to all charges and were granted bail in the amount of $10,000 each, with 1 shorter. They'll return to court on April 13th. Meanwhile, a juvenile male was charged along with Jonathan Griffin on 1 charge of murder after a traffic accident turned deadly last week. Police allege the pair caused the death of Andrew Stirrup on February 2nd following a traffic accident on 5th Street and Palm Tree Avenue. Reports are a physical altercation ensued between the occupants of the 2 vehicles, allegedly resulting in the stabbing death of Stirrup. The accused were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until March 24th.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Still to come on our news, the head of the Christian Council raises concerns as government pushes new legislation. And big wins for Bahamian ballers on the court. The details when our news returns.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free, along with incredible prizes including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
This is our news. Welcome back. Bahamas Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernander says he feels medical marijuana legislation is being rushed by the government and is questioning this administration's motives. Bethany McDermott reports.
Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernander accusing the Menace administration of rushing the legalization of medical marijuana, adding that it seems the issue is being used as an election tool.
If we cannot find farmers, which we are intricately involved, to do farming for stuff we could eat, how are we going to find farmers to grow medical marijuana?
Fernander says the way government is moving gives the feeling that there is a special interest and that it's being done to appease people. Then there's the concern that this will be abused.
So if I could get a fake slick slip What's to stop me from getting a fake slip that I need medical marijuana? What are the stopgaps? What is the legislation? We've seen jurisdictions where this happen.
Now, Fernando stressed that the council has no objections to medical marijuana. He says they're just looking for the authorities to consult with them.
The council was not consulted. We were promised as a nation that there will be some kinds of town halls, informational sessions, the like, before we get to the point of a bill. We all know that COVID-19 took over 2020, but what is the rush?
Speaking at the Dune Road commissioning ceremony on Elbow Key, Abaco on Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said the government is working on a bill to legalize medical marijuana and touted the legalization as an opportunity for Bahamian entrepreneurs. This update came a year after the Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana recommended the legalization of medical marijuana. While Fernando noted that the BCC doesn't typically get involved in debates about the use of drugs for medical purposes, he maintained that more consultation should have been done.
What we are asking is the country should be informed.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Well, a Rastafarian priest is concerned over the continued practice of arresting people for possession of small quantities of marijuana. Priest Rithman McKinney says he's especially confused since the Prime Minister has been encouraging young people to get their records expunged, most recently at an event on Abaco on Friday.
I'm still looking up the Rastaman and the young people for 2 or 3 joints and turn around and get their record expunged from the former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Farquharson, and they get a lock up from the present Commissioner of Police. So they're trying to figure out what's that. So they need to just take time and just free the people up and decriminalize, as you say, but I hear them talking about the decriminalization at all.
Former Commissioner of Police Farquharson heads up the Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee, which is responsible for expunging records. On Friday, Dr. Minnis announced that legislation legalizing medical marijuana was being contemplated. McKinney calls that a step in the right direction. However, he's still waiting to see action, especially on the religious use of marijuana.
We have a chance to wait and see exactly what the Prime Minister is going to do, because sometimes people say one thing and do the next, so we're going to follow his word, but we follow his action. But we're still waiting as the Rastafari community. What do you have to say concerning our Sacramento race?
In other news, both DeAndre Ayton and Buddy Hield winners on Super Bowl Sunday. Marcellus Hall has the details.
All right, thanks so much, Christina. Welcome to our sports on a Monday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Both of our NBA players in action on a Super Bowl Sunday. As it turns out, they both picked up big wins. Let's see exactly how it all went down. Well, both of our NBA players in action on Super Bowl Sunday, DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns, they took on the Boston Celtics. Ayton, he would log 38 minutes, finished up with 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists and a block, another double-double for the Bahamian big man. Suns picking up their 13th win of the season, 100-92 ends up being the final. They are now 4th in the Western Conference. They play again tonight when they host the Cleveland Cavaliers. As for Buddy Hield, he and the Sacramento Kings facing off with the LA Clippers. Kings led by De'Aaron Fox. He scored 36 points. But Buddy doing his part, he scored 22 on 7 of 18 shooting from the floor, including 3 3-pointers. Kings move above 500 with a 113-110 win. They improved their record now to 12-11. Next up, the Philadelphia 76ers. That comes your way on Tuesday. Super Bowl 50 is now in the books, and to the victor goes the spoils. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady, they dominated the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs 31-9 the final. Brady claiming his 7th Super Bowl ring with 3 touchdown passes, 2 to old friend tight end Rob Gronkowski, and 1 to wide receiver Antonio Brown. Tampa Bay's defense coming up big as well. They held the Chiefs without a touchdown all game and came up with 3 sacks of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who was running for his life the entire game. Buccaneers winning their 2nd NFL title and their first in 18 years, becoming the first team to play and win the championship game at home. Tampa Bay coach Bruce Arians becoming the first coach at age 68 to win the Super Bowl. He's the oldest coach at age 68 to win the Super Bowl. And congratulations going again out to all the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans that I know. I know 2 for sure. That would be our own Aiken Barr and, of course, Alexia Coakley, both of whom have been longtime Tampa fans. So for those guys, I say congratulations. All you fair weather people, don't try that. Anyway, that's your check on sports. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. And things are warming up this week. Meteorologist Greg Thompson has the details. Plus, do you have a love that endures? More on that when our news returns.
Every new season of On the Record, we push the limits, venture into unknown territory, take our cameras into places unseen before. We share the stories and experiences that affect us all. And now it's time for Season 5. On the Record, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on RTV, cable channel 212, and streaming live on Facebook.
Welcome back to our news. Looks like sunny and pleasant conditions are ahead. Greg is back in the weather studio with a look ahead.
Thanks again, Christina. In our second look at weather, we take a look at our satellite view around the region. High pressure is to the east of us, frontal boundary to the north of us, clear skies, light winds, allow for some fog to form early this morning, prompting the Department of Meteorology to issue a dense fog advisory. Conditions are still in place for the fog to form. We don't expect it to be as thick, but the possibility still exists for that fog formation. This frontal boundary will continue to lift towards the north. High pressure will dominate our weather for the next several days. Boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be light and variable, but they will come out of the east to southeast, 10 to 15 knots. Tomorrow seas 2 to 4, while the southeast Bahamas, a caution flag posted for you guys down there. East to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 6 feet. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Saturday. That's a look at our weather. Warmer temperatures expected for the next couple of days. Christina?
Thanks, Greg. Well, how well do you know your spouse? It's a question Cable Bahamas has posed to 3 couples this Valentine's Day. Our Jillian Gray tells us more.
Which year did I graduate high school?
That's Garrison Almenard struggling to answer a question about his wife, Daranique. The Almenards are one of 3 couples vying for the top prize for Rev's How Well Do You Know Your Spouse giveaway.
Just waking up on the side of him every day. It just, it renews me every day.
For me, it's every day knowing she's here for me, and every day knowing when I do something stupid, she beats me in my head and tell me, hey, straighten up and fly right. And I just remember at the end of the day, she really cares for me.
After 7 years together, the young couple say they are still head over heels in love. Sparks flew in college for Kenron and Leah Forbes as well, who first locked eyes in COB's gym 11 years ago. Forbes finally popped the question in 2019 using roses to spell out, "Will you marry me?"
I can't even remember what I said. She don't remember what I said. It was just like in that moment. And that's just how. You know what she said. Yes, that's all I know. She said yes.
And if you're wondering what keeps them passionately in love, here's their advice for a fiery love life.
Try it on.
Like when you decide to get married, then you make the decision that you're gonna make it work, no matter what.
Now for Denzel and Gabrielle Ferguson, their secret weapon for success in marriage is unconventional dates.
A lot of things I never imagined doing as a man, like going to Zumba with her and everything, but just trying to do things with her, to spend that time, show her that I'm there for her. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Ferguson says his wife's smile is what he loves the most. The childhood sweethearts say marriage is a lot of work, but it's a worthwhile ride.
Once you have kids, that makes the relationship difficult because you have to, take time out for the kids and they become your focus, and you really have to work on keeping the love alive.
You can tune into Cable Bahamas' Facebook page this Wednesday to find out which pair knows their spouse best. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Thanks, Jillian, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.